Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's a great joy to be with you today. Thank you for joining. I just give a couple of minutes for the connections to connect. I hope that the video is clear and that the sound is clear. So I'll just wait for a moment to get the confirmation. Thank you, Radhika, for your presence at very short notice in the chat. Much, much appreciated. So, I just invite you to relax. We're going to be talking about Mercury retrograde. So words beginning with RE, such as relax, are very powerful at this time. So let's just relax and revel in one another's company. So one of the subjects that as astrologers we are often interviewed about is Mercury retrograde. Very recently I was interviewed by Condé Nast, the travel magazine, by a journalist who wanted to understand a little more deeply what the fuss was all about with this Mercury retrograde. And it seems that it's a catchphrase. Yeah, 20, 30 years ago, I don't think anybody, or very few other than just a few astrologers, had heard of Mercury retrograde. In Greek, it's Hermes, which is Hermes. Hermes is Mercury. Retrograde is anadromo. So dromos is the road. Anadromo means going backwards. So the backwards road. And we're just now embarking, starting tomorrow, on the 2023 Mercury retrogrades. And I thought this was the perfect time to tune in with you together to these energies, to use them in the most positive, practical ways. So let me give you the dates, first of all. We've got all 3 Mercury retrogrades this year are in Earth signs. The one starting tomorrow, April the 21st, is in Taurus, the first of the Earth signs. And that will go on until May the 14th. The next one will be in August the 23rd, until September the 14th, and that will be in Virgo, the second Earth sign. And finally, we get to December 13th, and crossing over into 2024 until January 1st, the beginning, we're going to get a Mercury retrograde going from Capricorn, the third Earth sign, into Sagittarius. But more about that as we get close to the time, but the overall picture. Let's start with the big picture, and then we'll hone in on some of the more detailed aspects of this first Mercury retrograde, which is going to affect us all pretty soon if it's not already started for you. So when Mercury is retrograde in Earth signs, this is an opportunity to review your material world, your finances, your physical body, your health, the work that you do, the career you have, how you contribute in practical ways on the material level. Now, of course, as with all the signs, they can be interpreted on many levels. But let's start with the energy of Earth. You're being asked during these Mercury retrograde periods to get real, to think practically, not to avoid some of the practical things that you might have been procrastinating about, deliberating about, but to face them, to face whatever is real about your situation. So it doesn't matter whether you are a Taurus, a Virgo, a Capricorn or not. Somewhere in your chart, you will have this transit happening. So let's look in a little more detail about Mercury going retrograde in Taurus. All right. Now, Taurus is ruled by Venus. We've had a lot of Mars energy, this solar eclipse in Aries. We'll have a lunar eclipse on May the 5th in Scorpio. It's very Mars energy. And here we're getting this Mercury retrograde in Taurus. We'll have Jupiter next month going into Taurus. We've already got Uranus in Taurus, the North Node in Taurus. This is all the Venusian energy, this energy of Venus. And when I tune into Mercury retrograde in Taurus, the first message that comes through is listen to your heart. Open your heart to tell you what to do rather than pushing with your will. The Mars energy is a pushing, I can do it, I will do it type of energy. The Venus energy is more about asking your heart to lead the way. There's much to get into here. So let's look at some of the key words for Taurus, all right? Because somewhere in your chart, you might not have planets in Taurus, but you will have the sign Taurus, and you will also have Venus in a sign somewhere. So Venus is going to be very activated, and Venus rules money and love. And when Mercury goes retrograde, you are reassessing all the attributes and qualities of Taurus. So let's look at the keywords. Your money, your finances, your investments if you have them, your values. What's really important, because Mercury in Taurus is a really slow energy. You can't rush a Taurus anyway. And when it's retrograde, you absolutely can't rush the Taurian energy. So Taurus rules food, slow food. If somebody's rushing you, making a financial decision, or you are rushing yourself to make financial decisions, this is a time to deliberate and to go slowly, slowly, slowly. It's a time, Taurus rules nature, the plants. Talk to the plants, talk to the trees. It rules your creature comforts. But how much are you really enjoying and appreciating your creature comforts? Or are you rushing from one thing to another to another? Yes, slowly, slowly catch the monkey. Yes, thank you, Patsy. So this is a wonderful opportunity for looking at what does money mean to you, wealth, possessions, looking at the things that you have. Often during a Mercury retrograde in Taurus, you might find some money, or money that you lost may appear, or some jewelry that you had misplaced, or something valuable comes back to you. Very often happens. So it's a time to look at the things that you possess, and are they possessing you? If so, what do you need to change? Because you're not going to take any of the positions with you eventually. Taurus rules luxury, nice things. So this would be a wonderful time to hang on to the nice things, but to release the shoddy things, the things that don't give you pleasure anymore. Taurus rules beauty. It rules the nice things. Paintings, art, music. And Taurus definitely goes slowly. I've been going to this hairdresser now. I think I've been going about 3 years. And usually hairdressers, especially, they ask you, they talk, they're very talkative. He's the least talkative hairdresser I've ever met, and he's wonderful. He's a fabulous hairdresser. It's the first time in 3 years he sort of asked me about, what is it you do? And I said, well, I'm an astrologer. Oh, he said, I'm a Taurus, he said. I said, well, I'm not surprised. Yeah. Slow to get to know. Slow. So it's a wonderful time to look at your self-worth, your self-value. What is it you value? And is your life centered around those values? It's a great time for looking more carefully at the words that you speak, because Taurus rules treasure. Okay, the treasure inside of you, this retrograde. But thinking carefully about how you deliver the words and the power of those words. This great Russian proverb, a spoken word is like a sparrow that once has flown away, cannot be caught again. So I'm doing my best here to be more conscious of the preciousness of the gift of speech. Some people don't have that gift of speech. So the gratitude that you can speak, and then how am I using my words? I love this quote by Ernest Hemingway. It takes 2 years to learn to speak and 60 to learn to keep quiet. And there's such a clamor for your attention. I can't tell you the number of people who say, watch this film and look at that video, and and there's so much, and there's simply just not enough hours in the day. So it's about choosing what is precious carefully, reflecting. Mercury retrograde. Remembering it's not what goes into your mouth so much that's important. We really make a lot of fuss about food and diet, and not to say that that isn't important, but what comes out of the mouth. I know there are many places it comes in the Bible, in Proverbs, in Matthew, I think it is not what goes into the mouth that defiles a person, but what comes out of the mouth. So this is a wonderful time to become extremely aware of the words that you use in your emails, to the people that you speak to. If you're being held in a queue and waiting, how are your first words when somebody finally pays you a little attention? So this is just a wonderful opportunity to look at where you feel overloaded. I called this input overload, because I think for many of us, we are overloaded. It might be overloaded with food, overloaded with information, overloaded with commitments. What are you overdoing? An opportunity to look at, where am I overindulging? And where do I need to simplify? Taurus loves simple. Yeah, being kind to folk is your superpower. That's great, Amanita. And it's so visible if you really watch it. Over the Easter time, we had Greek Easter. We just had Greek Easter here. And of course, it's very family oriented. And I have an adopted family here, which is wonderful. But I watched as some harsh words were delivered. Yeah, they were not intentional. It was meant in a joking way. But I saw, dear Tasuli, I saw him go from uplifted to just, his whole energy was deflated just by 2 or 3 sentences. Vroom. Of course, we lifted him up quickly again, but just the power of those words. All right. And this is a tremendous opportunity to reflect and to reduce external inputs. We used to have, in England particularly, it used to be, I think on Saturdays and Sundays, the shops weren't open when I was young. They were just, everything was shut. Now in many countries, everything is open all the time, and there is no Sabbath, there is no holy, quiet day. So this is an opportunity to re-establish a day of silence a week, a day of peacefulness where you can hear yourself think, where you can give yourself that space. Because this energy is going to slow you down whether you like it or not. So you can come fighting it, or you can come in the Venus energy and you can accept and maybe even welcome it as a change of pace. To some of us, it comes easier than others. I mean, by nature, I am a speedy type of person. Yes, I do things quickly. And I always managed to attract boyfriends who were slow. Drove me nuts. But the slowing down is such a joy. It doesn't mean you have to change your nature, but just that this is an opportunity to slow you. As the Buddha says, your own worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. And they're insidious, aren't they? These unguarded thoughts. I noticed it today. I was just online and I felt my energy go down. It was like, what were the last 2 or 3 thoughts? And they were something like, yeah, my videos are not so popular, or just something like this, some fleeting thought of a negative thought. And how quickly that just goes in. So this is a wonderful opportunity for thinking about and remembering your ancestors, the people who gave to you. Maybe it's your parents, maybe it's way ancestors, whatever, but perhaps you'd like to share here and now. What are you grateful for? Maybe from one of your parents, or somebody that you remember who was kind to you or gave you something. Let's share. Let's set a wave of gratitude and remembering people, because always it's this remembering, Mercury retrograde. Remembering the people that we appreciated and that we've carried that into our life now. Grateful for determination you get from your dad. Beautiful, Kaywood. Beautiful. Abigail, grateful for your husband and children. Beautiful. It's lovely. Let's just tune into that gratitude for all the things that we've been given. Because that's a frequency here. Creativity from your mum, Sydney. Amanita, your Auntie Pip. Isn't it beautiful? All these people are here now. You know, they're perking their ears up. You know, like dogs, they prick their ears up. Oh, yeah. I'm really grateful to my dad. He was always cheerful. He always did his best to be cheerful. Ah, Andrea, my heart goes to you. Your kitty dying. Ah. Mara, your abuela is always with you. Yeah, my dad's always with me. And I'm so grateful for my mum giving me music and taking me for piano lessons when I was 5. Marlene, your father's integrity. Beautiful. Ah. Beautiful. Yeah. Oh, isn't this great? Grateful for your star family, Rosalind. Yeah. So really this wave of taking time to remember those who've given you gifts. Because Taurus is about gifts. So retrograde is the remembering of the gift giving. Beautiful. Oh, Jennifer, grateful for your dark night of the soul. Wow. Grateful for the time you had with your sister, Melanie, who passed in 2015, and she's with you still. Ah, your mum, who was amazing cook, gardener, seamstress. Wow. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. Yeah. Freedom piano when you were 5 too. So look for it. Actively look. Actively look. Because these are the things that we don't lose. These are the things that we take with us. These are the treasures. We carry inside us wonders we seek outside us, said Rumi. Beautiful. Lovely. Oh, I love all these that you're sharing. Thank you. Yes, I'm grateful for my Auntie Jenny. Oh, I'm so grateful for her. She was just 101. God bless her heart. 101. And she said after the party, she said, I'm not going to wash my face tonight. I've had so many kisses today. I want to keep them overnight. And her 75-year-old son, I think he's 74 or 5, David, he said to her, Mum, every time I see you, you've got another young man sitting next to you, chatting to you. She said, yes, David, I know. I'm irresistible. She's a hoot. You've got to love her. Yeah. So this is a reminder as well, not to give up on what you love. Retrograde is a reminder. I love this. By the way, thank you for everything that you're sharing with the people that have given you gifts. Wonderful time to remember them. And not to give up on that which you love. Benjamin Zander, the very famous conductor of the Boston Philharmonic Orchestra. Wonderful teacher, very inspiring. I love him much. I wish he would come on as a guest. I keep trying, but I won't give up. But his mother, he was, I think, 9 years old, and he wrote a composition in class. And the teacher said, this is a terrible composition. You're never going to go anywhere in music. And his mother took that composition and she wrote to Benjamin Britten, a very famous, probably the most famous living composer at that time. And she told Benjamin Britten, and she said, I'm asking you whether you would take on my son, Ben, for lessons and tuition. And Benjamin Britten wrote back and said, yes. You see? So don't give up. It's just wonderful. So great. Wow. Melanie, grateful for God's strengths. You've quit bad addictions. Wow. Awesome. So these are great energies to work with. Reflect about your values, what's important to you. Reflect about the people you love, maybe loved in the past, but you still carry them with you. And reflect about appreciating those that you love now, doing nice things for them. Reflect about your finances and your money. If you need to, make some changes. And remember to relax, slow down, and enjoy. So I just really want to thank you so much for being here. I'm extremely grateful for our times together. I love your feedback. I read all your comments. And I hope you find this valuable and uplifting and giving you some ideas. Oh, and it's also a wonderful time for coming back to gifts and talents and things that you used to love, that you haven't touched for a while. Anything arty, crafty, musically, gardening, foodie, anything, fashion, anything that you love, coming back to it, revisiting. Radhika, thank you for doing a terrific job in the chat, as always. And thank you so many of you for your great comments, feedback. Much love. Bye for now.